In 2008, gas prices started to rise drastically. In some places it was up to $4 per gallon. The prices of oil went up, and with that, so did the price of gasoline. When Hurricane Ike hit, the supply of gas that comes from the Gulf of Mexico, where many platforms and refineries are, was disrupted. The U.S. gets a lot of its gasoline from here, so if we still wanted it, we had to pay a much larger price for a smaller amount of it, supply and demand. In this time, people have become very accustomed to buying things that they want, no matter what the price is.
People in this state and everywhere are worried about gas prices. When 2007 began, oil was $61 a barrel. It was $100 last week. We haven't even begun to see the demand that India and China is going to put on the world's oil markets. Don't you have to, in the end, level with people? The gas prices are at this level to stay, and if anything, they're going to go higher. And isn't not to do so intellectual dishonesty? Anybody? Good.
I'll be glad to answer that question because it's something I talk about all the time, and it's a very important question. The Wall Street Journal yesterday had a very good chart that explains this. If you look at the price of oil in the last 10 years, if you look at it in terms of dollars, it went up 350%. If you look at it in euros, it went up about 200%. If you look at it in the price of gold, it stayed flat. It's the inflation, it's the printing of money, it's the destruction of the value of the dollar. Added on to this, the notion that we go to protect our oil. Oil was $27 when we went over there to get the oil and protect the oil and take the oil from Iraq. There's less than about half the production now in Iraq right now, and we're threatening Iran, and that pushes prices up. It pushes up the concept of supply and demand. But you can't deal with the price of oil without dealing with the supply and demand of dollars. When you devalue the dollar, and the dollar is going down every day, and the further the dollar goes down, the higher the prices of oil going up. We have to understand that. Senator?
In 2009, the swine flu epidemic hit. It is a virus that can spread from pigs to humans. There were cases reported from all around the world, especially in North America. That's when our medical technology came in handy. They developed the H1N1 vaccine that would cure you if you did come in contact with the deadly virus.
It turns out that this 2009 H1N1 began circulating in pigs in 1918. At the same time, the 1918 influenza virus outbreak was occurring in humans. But because these two viruses were in different hosts, they evolved differently. So they both have a common ancestor going back to 1918. But because the swine H1N1 was in pigs, it evolved differently from human H1N1. And now that swine H1N1 is basically a new virus to humans, and the existing immunity we have to seasonal H1N1 doesn't really protect us significantly from it. Whales and seals both carry particular strains of influenza. Horses carry influenza virus strains, and recently dogs have become a significant source of influenza virus infection. An influenza virus particle is roughly round in shape. It has a couple of protrusions coming off of it in two different shapes. One that's more of a spike and one more of a propeller shape. The H spike is used to enter a cell, and the other, the N spike that we always refer to, is used to actually get away from the cell. Anywhere from 9 to 12 hours later, the surface of that cell starts to form little bubbles, and those bubbles are new virus particles coming off. For about 3 to 4 hours, that cell will be able to make infectious virus particles, and it can make anywhere from 10,000 to nearly 1 million virus particles depending on the cell type. So if you're immune to infection, with influenza that means that you've had antibodies that will bind to the virus particle and keep that virus particle from interacting with the cell.
Also in 2009, Michael Jackson's death caused a huge commotion all over the country. He was the king of pop. It showed that our country was very much appreciative of the work he had done because he changed the way that many people perceived music. Our country has and always will rely on music during the good and bad times.
Medical Center. I know I got the word about what, 3:30? Is that when you got the call about this?
Well, I've been listening to it on the radio, so I heard about it earlier than that. I heard it about 1,
Okay.
but yeah, I got the call about 2:30.
Okay, so this has been developing for some time, and we have yet to hear an official from UCLA Medical Center come out and tell us what happened here. So that's what you're looking at. The crowd that's been gathered out there outside UCLA Medical Center is moving to an auditorium. And it's interesting to think, who are these people? Why are they there? We talked to Jane Yamamoto, who had fans with albums. Apparently they want to go and hear officially what has happened.
I will tell you, after covering the John Lennon murder in front of the Dakota, that people just instantly go to wherever this happened, wherever the scene was, just to pay tribute and to mourn with other fans who love the particular performer. And of course, in the case of Elvis Presley, the same thing happened there. But you can see now that they're moving the media into this auditorium. It looks like the general public is being kept back away from this area. Let's go now to Michael Brownlee, who's in Holmby Hills, to tell us what activity has been going on there in front of the Jackson leased home. Michael?
Carlos and Christine out here in front of the house where paramedics arrived just after 12, about 12:30 here this afternoon. I'm going to step out of the picture. This is the gate to that multi-million-dollar mansion just a little while ago when Lieutenant with the LAPD showed up. The gates actually opened up. Standing behind those gates was a very large man. Could only presume and assume it was a bodyguard here at the estate. A lot of fans here who have shown up, who have been able to gain access to the area. That has since been roped off. We had a little bit of trouble getting in here. This street completely blocked off. This is off of a major road here through the Holmby Hills. A gaggle of media here as well. Again, back to the fans showing up young and then older.
In 2010, a massive earthquake hit Haiti. It caused many injuries, deaths, and many more people to lose their homes as well as personal belongings. In such a time of desperate need, the whole world joined as one. Medical aid was provided, as well as food and shelter and the survival necessities. It showed that no matter what happens between countries, no matter how many conflicts there are, or how busy everyone's daily life is, there will always be time to help the ones that are in true need. Our world, with all of its countries, is united as one.